Welcome to the tutorial on single time constant circuit, in short STC circuit. The single time constant or STC circuits are those circuits which are composed of or can be reduced to one reactive component, that is either inductance or capacitance, and one resistance. So an STC circuit which is formed of an inductor and a resistor will have a time constant given by L by R, and an STC circuit which is formed of a capacitance and a resistance will have a time constant which is equal to R into C. And these STC circuits play an important role in the design and the analysis of linear and digital circuits, especially in the analysis of amplifier circuits, where we can have the reduced form to be one or more STC circuits. So with an example, let me explain you how the reduction of the circuit can be done to form a single time constant circuit. So here, as you can see, there is one figure which shows many resistances and capacitances, and this circuit can be reduced to have a single resistance and a single capacitance. So what we are going to basically do is we are going to use the Thevenin's theorem repeatedly so that we obtain a single resistance and a single capacitance. So first we will try to reduce this part of the circuit, wherein we will consider R1 parallel with R2, and we obtain the voltage, Thevenin voltage, as VI into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Resistance R3 remains the same and resistance R4 remains the same. Now what we have is that we have resistance, this resistance in series with resistance R3 in parallel with resistance R4. So we need to compute the new Thevenin voltage. So we get the new Thevenin voltage here, and the equivalent resistance, Thevenin resistance, which is denoted as R4 parallel with R3 plus R1 parallel with R2. So this resistance is the equivalent Thevenin resistance, and I have denoted it as Req, and the time constant for this STC circuit, that is the single time constant circuit, is equal to C multiplied with R equivalent. So this is one of the simplest example of a single time constant circuit. Coming to the example 2, this circuit has two resistances and two capacitances, and we are going to reduce this circuit into a single time constant circuit. So what we basically do is we are going to partition this particular circuit shown in figure A in two parts, wherein we will compute the output voltage between the two resistances and the two capacitance. So equally it is divided, and we are going to show the marking as XX dash. If you observe such type of differentiation or the marking, you will be able to observe in the frequency response of CS amplifiers. So this concept is very much applicable there. So we have divided the circuit as shown in figure B, and now separately we are going to compute for the input part and for the output part. So there are two voltages, input part is computed separately and output part is computed separately. So input part will give us, using the voltage divider rule, the voltage to be equal to V1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and the equivalent resistance will be R1 parallel with R2, and here we have this voltage multiplied with C1 divided by C1 plus C2. So you can see I have repeated the same circuit figure C here, and now separately I am going to obtain the circuit, that is part D and part E. So we have the first part of the circuit, which is in the left side, giving us a voltage VO1, and the right side of the circuit, which is going to give us a voltage of VO2. Now these two voltages have to be used in order to obtain the total output voltage Vout. So for that, what we do is we use the superposition theorem, wherein we are going to find out the sum of VO1 and VO2. So VO1 plus VO2 will give us the output voltage Vout. Now you might be wondering how the time constant is computed. To compute the time constant, what we are doing is, these two circuits when added together will form a single circuit, that is a single time constant circuit. So the time constant will be the equivalent resistance multiplied with the equivalent capacitance. So the time constant will be C1 plus C2 into R1 parallel with R2. Now coming to the classification of STC circuits. STC circuits can be classified in two main categories, that is the low pass and the high pass types, and each category will display different signal responses. If you want to accomplish an STC low pass circuit, it can be accomplished in a number of ways. Similarly, to accomplish an STC high pass circuit, even that can be accomplished in a number of ways, because we can make use of resistance, capacitances, we can make use of inductors and resistances. So there are many ways in which we can accomplish. So whichever way we try to accomplish, we are going to test the circuit for two cases, that is at omega is equal to 0 or at omega is equal to infinity. So why these two cases mainly is because at omega is equal to 0, if you are going to use the capacitor should be replaced by a open circuit, and if you are going to make use of an inductor, it has to be replaced by a short circuit. But if we are going to test at omega is equal to infinity, if we are going to use as a capacitor, it has to be replaced by a short circuit, and if we are going to make use of an inductor, it has to be replaced by a open circuit. So these are the important things that has to be noted, because omega is equal to 0 corresponds to low frequency and omega is equal to infinite corresponds to high frequency. So we will be analyzing for low frequency and high frequency cases. So these are the rules that have been specified. If we make use of the circuit as a low pass filter, then omega is equal to 0 means output will be infinite. If it's a high pass, it will be 0. Omega is equal to infinity means output will be 0 in low pass, whereas it will be infinite in the case of high pass. Now moving on, I mentioned earlier that we can realize an STC low pass type of a circuit in multiple ways, but mainly the type of circuit that we have used so far is the one which makes use of a single combination of R and C. So if it is a low pass, we will have the output voltage measured across the capacitor. So that is why, let me explain you with the transfer function and the frequency response values as to how we obtain the equations for the STC circuit. Here you can see that T of S is the transfer function equation, which is given by the output voltage divided by the input voltage, and I am measuring the transfer function with respect to S. So we have V naught of S is equal to Vi of S, that is obtained by applying the voltage divider rule, and because we have a capacitor, this will be equal to Vi of S multiplied with 1 by SC divided by R plus 1 by SC. I will rearrange this circuit and I obtain it as 1 by 1 plus S into RC. But the omega naught value, that is the corner frequency, is equal to 1 by RC. So I can rearrange the equation for transfer function as omega naught divided by 1 plus S omega naught, or I can write it as omega naught divided by S plus omega naught. And the frequency response can be obtained if I consider the transfer function wherein S can be replaced with J omega. So when I am going to replace S is equal to J omega, I will consider the magnitude of the transfer function at omega is equal to 0, that is the DC quantity, to be equal to K. That is why I have included the term K in the numerator, and this is equal to T of J omega. So when I compute the magnitude, I will compute it as square root of 1 plus omega divided by omega naught the whole square, and the phase response is computed as 0 minus tan inverse of omega by omega naught. What important thing that you need to note here is the STC circuit having a transfer function which is given by omega naught divided by S plus omega naught. In a similar manner, I can consider the simplest form of an STC circuit for a high pass type, wherein I am going to compute the output voltage across the resistance R, and I have the transfer function to be computed as V out by Vs. Using the voltage divider rule, I obtain it as V out of S to be equal to R divided by R plus 1 by SC Vi of S. When I rearrange this equation is nothing but equal to S by S plus omega naught. And the frequency response can be obtained as T of j omega to be equal to, in terms of magnitude, to be equal to K divided by square root of 1 plus omega divided by omega naught the whole square. And the phase response will be 90 degree minus tan inverse of omega by omega naught. If you observe, this kind of STC circuit is commonly used in the analysis of the frequency response of the CS amplifiers. Both for the low frequency response and high frequency response, we try to denote in terms of the STC circuit. So I have considered a simple example of a high pass type and a low pass type to explain you as to how the equation will look like, or can be represented, the transfer function can be represented for a high pass type as well as for a low pass type.